Hey, what's going on YouTube? Naded here, back again with another video for you guys. And today I wanted to talk about Halo 4 loadouts and what loadouts I've been using when playing social 4v4s, since a lot of people were asking what loadouts I've been running and just what loadouts they should be using in general when it comes to playing Halo 4. And that really depends on the map and the game type you're playing in a lot of cases, because let's say you're playing big team battle, you're going to probably want a loadout that can destroy vehicles better, or a loadout that can keep your vehicles alive longer. Or let's say you're playing a map like a drift, where it's more of an enclosed space, a lot more walls, slower paced map. A lot of players opt to pick Promethean vision on maps like that, since they have more time to scan, see through the walls, and make a play based off of that. So it really just depends on what role you want to play on your team, and also just what game type and map you're playing in general. But if you didn't know, you can only have up to 5 loadouts made at a time. So if you are switching between game types, stuff like that, you will have to go back and kind of optimize your loadouts a little more. But for today, we're going to be talking about 4 versus 4 loadouts. And that is what I have all my loadouts set up to be, is all my 4 versus 4 loadouts. And I'm just going to go through and basically explain why I have each loadout set up the way I do. But guys, also, if you have any loadouts that you want to suggest, or if you know any loadouts that are just really, really good for Halo 4, please put them in the comments below, because I'm actually curious to see if there are any Halo 4 pros out there that know some insane meta loadouts that just are super dominant, maybe in big team, or 4 versus 4, 2v2s, whatever the case may be. And maybe there is something that I just haven't thought of yet that I could be using, or just, you know, a different type of loadout that somebody else knows out there that they can bless us with in the comments below. So really would love to see your feedback on this, guys. What are the best Halo 4 loadouts that you know? But these are the ones that I use, guys. My first loadout here is going to be my BR bolt loadout, battle rifle bolt shot loadout. It has a battle rifle as my primary weapon, bolt shot as my secondary weapon, regular fragmentation grenades, thruster pack as my armor ability efficiency package, and dexterity. And basically this loadout and my second loadout are the exact same, except that the second one has a light rifle as the primary instead of the battle rifle. And basically these two loadouts I mainly use on smaller 4v4 maps that don't really need jetpack. And there are a decent amount of maps in 4v4s where jetpack isn't really that necessary. So what I do is I actually go and just opt to pick the thruster pack instead of the jetpack for these loadouts. And depending on the map, sometimes I'll use the BR. Some maps I feel like the BR is a lot better, since it's not as long range and some of the angles are more medium to short range, as opposed to the light rifle, which is going to be more of your longer range type of melting weapon, even though the light rifle is really good up close as well. But it just depends on kind of the map and the scenario, because sometimes you want to use the battle rifle to maybe push up more. You know, the battle rifle is definitely better for pushing in, you know, getting those quick 4 shots and stuff like that. And the light rifle, you don't really want to use the light rifle up close. You know, you want to be more of a medium to long range. So depending on the scenario, you know, sometimes I'll go with the BR, sometimes a light rifle. But the reason I have the armor ability efficiency package instead of infinite sprint is because I really don't feel like infinite sprint is needed on 4v4 maps, since you already get a ton of sprint anyway before it runs out. And having the armor ability efficiency package allows the thrust to be a 1.5 second cooldown instead of a 3 seconds. So you actually can really catch people off guard with the thrust, get a lot of ninjas, be able to get around corners quicker, and it just really throws people off using that thrust animation, and you can utilize it in a lot of different ways. So that is why I like to have the thruster pack as my armor ability for these first 2 loadouts, as well as the BR and the light rifle. But for my third loadout, I actually run firepower as my tactical package to have a light rifle and a battle rifle as my starting weapons in my loadout. So if you don't know what firepower is, basically it allows you to replace your secondary weapon with a primary weapon. So pretty much this loadout here is just my jetpack loadout, my standard jetpack loadout. As you can see here, I do have my jetpack as my armor ability. So I actually use this loadout probably even more than I use the first 2 loadouts, just because I do like jetpack a lot. You're just able to create so many different angles, go to so many places easier, and things like that. And plus, when you have that secondary primary weapon, you are just doing so much damage, and a lot of times the other team just can't overcome the amount of damage that you're doing, because you have 2 primary weapons and you're just never running out of ammo and just spamming rifle shots across the map. So this is personally, I feel like this is one of the better loadouts that you can probably make. You know, just having that light rifle and BR combo, it is just lethal. But yeah, these first two loadouts, obviously I'm going to pick the bolt shot as my secondary weapon because, you know, if you don't know, the bolt shot is basically like a little mini pocket shotgun. And, you know, it's going to be very useful on those close range maps, just being able to have that camping type of weapon. So if anyone does come up close with a power weapon, I can just blast them with a bolt shot really fast. But those are my base, you know, probably the three loadouts I use the most are just my BR and light rifle bolt shot combo ones, and also the firepower, you know, jetpack one with the light rifle and the BR. But these last two here I actually have for very specific scenarios. So number 4 here, I call it Overshield Rush. And basically what this loadout is basically any map that has an overshield at the start of the game. So like Simplex, well, Simplex, you don't really need it because, you know, you can get there without infinite sprint. But a map like Adrift, and I think there's even maybe a couple of other maps where a power weapon or a power up is just out of range in terms of when your sprint runs out. So when you have a loadout that has infinite sprint, you can pick this loadout right away to start the game and just immediately rush overshield, and more than likely you will get it because you have the infinite sprint, and if the other team doesn't, they're going to run out of sprint before they get there. So this loadout just in general, it's really helpful to pick when the overshield is coming up because you will be able to get there as quick as possible with infinite sprint. Plus, I actually have plasma pistol as my secondary weapon. So if I don't end up getting the overshield, let's say the other team beats me there, I actually have a combo to potentially be able to counter that, as well as plasma nades to stick them. Even though stickies don't kill overshield players in one hit in this game, you can just spam 2 nades really quick, get a lot of damage on them, and just use the plasma damage to shred their overshield down. So just really just not really a loadout that you use often, but very specific scenario to be able to rush to the overshield. Let's say on a drift is probably the biggest one because the overshield spawns directly in the middle of the map and you can't even get there in time without your sprint running out. So if you don't have a mobility package set up in a loadout and the other team does, you're not going to be able to get to the overshield before them because your sprint's going to run out. So that is why it's just good in general to have that overshield rush loadout. And also number 5, it is actually my new ordnance loadout for infinity game modes or game modes that have ordnance drops. And the reason you want to have this is because a lot of times ordnance drops actually matter a lot when it comes to winning those types of game modes. And sometimes you get unlucky and you get a loadout that has like speed boost, needler, and plasma nades, you know, and the other team is getting binary rifles, beam rifles, overshields, you know, so you want to have an ordnance refresh loadout to be able to get that second chance to get better guns and better weapons. And the crazy part is I've actually used this before and refreshed my loadout and it turned into the exact same loadout. So this actually is not a foolproof way to get a new ordnance drop because, you know, it could actually just be complete RNG and give you the exact same one. But a lot of times it does give you a new one. So the more times than not, it will give you a nice refresh, give you, let's say you do spawn, you know, or have an ordnance drop that has like a needler, plasma nades, and a speed boost. You can pick this loadout off spawn and refresh your loadout, and maybe you'll get a sniper, a saw, an overshield. So it's actually pretty required, I would say, to have a loadout like this when you're playing ordnance drop game modes, because there are a lot of times where you will just get the worst ordnance drops and, you know, you could just have this loadout, click one button on the D-pad and you get a sniper, you know. So it is actually very important to be able to have this. I run thruster pack with this as well. Not sure why I don't use jetpack. I don't know, I feel like thruster pack is going to be more useful in situations on 4v4 maps, since jetpack isn't that insanely useful on some of the maps. But overall, that is pretty much it, guys. Those are my 5 loadouts that I use. Like I said, the standard ones I use are going to be, you know, the BR light rifle bolt shot ones, and then also the firepower jetpack ones. And guys, please let me know any loadouts that you know that could be insane for 4 versus 4s, or just any cool loadouts that people have used that you've seen in the past. Put it down in the comments below, man. And hey guys, I hope this helped out some people. If it did, leave a like on the video, man. I hope you guys enjoy this daily Halo content, because if you do, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're posting daily Halo videos. And guys, please check out my Twitch live stream at twitch.tv/naded. I stream there every single day. Appreciate all the support, guys. Freaking love you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.